Yeah, well, it's opening day. We're right about shooting light. We've climbed up on top of a point on a ridge. We were out last night and we saw 20 bulls. And we're going to get in here at first light today. Randy is off to the north, and he's glassing off a different direction just to see if he can find something else. But we're just kind of looking around, seeing what's here. And if we see something we like, we'll go after it. But at the same time, it's just fun to watch some elk and be out in this awesome country. And it's also nice that the 50-mile-an-hour winds or whatever they were have stopped. Anyway, we're going to get set up here and see what we can find. 20-inch bears and third points make up for short fists.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he is probably pushing 20 on those first two.
He's a nice bull.
For sure. You can always go ground check him whenever you want. The best way to check is this when they're on the ground, yeah. Like, oh, yeah, they are 20 inches. The lower one or the upper one?
The upper one. I can kind of see the right side of his head now.
Oh, yeah.
And they're nice bulls. They're just not.
No.
He's also a good bull. I'd like to get some good video of him so I can take a closer look.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, he's obviously a very nice bull.
He's definitely bigger than any I've killed. We go up to that point there and glass across.
They might pick up some more country. You know, there could be some bulls down in there too.
Well, I'm off on a different path than Joel and Marcus. They went southwest, I'm going west. And I'm gonna glass everything to the northwest and the north. They're gonna glass everything to the west, southwest, and south. They're gonna have company though. 5 people showed up, they have one tag. And I was down at the trailhead and we visited, and I told them where Marcus and Joel were. They said, yeah, there's a good glossing knob out there and we're headed that way too. And so public land, there's gonna be some people there. So we were glassing down the ridge and glassing up the base, and we spotted a nice bull last night, and he was out again this morning by himself and just looked like a real good animal. So we decided to climb the ridge to get a better look at him. It took us a while to get up here, but after a few minutes we were able to relocate him, and he was 1,000 yards away. So we sat down to put a spotting scope on him, so he's still quite a distance, but man, he just hightailed it and took off. So I don't know if he smelled us or what, but we were still a long ways away, and I haven't seen anybody over there. And you can't see into this basin from anywhere, so I don't know, from a road anyway. I don't know what happened, so. You guys are pretty easy to track, but you guys go for a long way.
You see anything?
What's that?
You see anything?
Yeah. You did? Anything good?
You got big fronts too, just a little back, a little 6-point. Doesn't have the beam length. 5 of them over there, huh?
What's that?
I see 5 of them over there now.
Well, Joel, you didn't want that bull anyhow, did you?
No, actually I didn't. But they bumped one that I was interested in anyway. I'm going to have to think about how we want to hunt this or what we want to do, with them. I'm going to spend at least the next 2 days probably in here cutting that thing up and getting it out of here.
They're not getting that thing out today.
No.
Yeah, I think this upper end of this stuff is probably shot for a few days. But the beauty is we got all of that. We got everything over there. There's a ton of country there.
We can glass that side tonight when the sun's better.
Now we're down to one less tag holder.
That's right. I think as each day goes by, we'll probably see fewer people.
Oh, yeah.
And this is also, these elk are not in easy to get to places, and they're not hanging out next to the road. We've been seeing some nice elk, though. Yeah. Elk that I'm not used to seeing, which is fun.
Well,
and we're not done yet, which is great.
Yeah,
we could be done and we'd just be cutting up meat and thinking about the pack out, but instead we go look at more of them, which is a good thing. Yeah. Should we head over there?
Yep. I'll follow you. I forgot my gaiters this morning. I left them in camp. That was a mistake.
As we leave this spot, I'm thinking about my tendency to always look for burns when I'm hunting elk. But as Joel and Carl explained, sometimes burns in Nevada don't necessarily come back as the prime habitat that elk prefer.
Right here it looks like a classic Great Basin fire situation. Pinyon juniper burned, and if you go down it just gets wider and further. In most places I think, oh, burns, I want to hunt a burn, it's going to be great. But here in these really dry areas in the Great Basin, burns aren't necessarily what we think of as wildlife habitat.
There are places here where we want to hunt the burn,
right,
but they're high, or they're on the on the north slope where it doesn't get the sun exposure. But down here at the lower elevations, which is often where the winter habitat is, it's all these invasive annual grasses that pop up real early in the spring and they brown out super early. So there's just not much food value. And historically this would be bunch grass and forbs and brush, and there's a little bit of sage coming in, but it's mostly just one annual grass, cheatgrass, that's sort of covering the landscape, and it kind of crowds everything else out, and it's really of just low value.
Has really no value for wildlife. So it creates a couple things. One, it changes the landscape composition, more erosion, less native plant obviously and forage, but also then it just gets, as we're in these dry periods, it just gets into these cycles where it gets bigger and bigger.
Snowballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It burns really well, burns fast.
It'll burn multiple times.
It's an annual grass, and so this all happens, all this fuel, it's produced every year.
Because you read about the size of some of the fires in the Great Basin country, and it's insane.
Yeah, it is.
100,000 acres, 200,000 acres.
Yeah.
400,000.
Yeah.
The Martin Creek fire.
Yeah. And then when it reaches the periphery of where it burned before, then it gets back into the sage and the pinyon juniper, and it just, if you think of it as a ripple in the pond, the ripple just goes a little bit further and further every time, and it just starts taking over. And I know that the agencies and the land management, the wildlife agencies, land management agencies, they try to get in here right after a fire and seed with natives, but that's expensive.
There's herbicides, pre-emergent herbicides come in and stop the cheatgrass in the spring before it gets a toehold and plant, and they're having good luck with that in places, but it's very much dependent on the moisture for the year.
For wildlife, that April, May, June period, forbs are so important to lactating females. And if this stuff outcompetes all those forbs that's like the ice cream for these females that are lactating. And if the cheatgrass and other invasives are outcompeting that, they can't get the nutritional value out of that little bit of green up from cheatgrass that they need, that they've historically been able to find through the forbs. I mean, I'm happy staying up here if you wanted to go down there.
I kind of want to go check it out.
But I just think from up here, I can see some spots that maybe you'll be able to see.
Well, I think you'll be able to see these chutes, and there was a group of 7 bulls in there yesterday that we didn't see today, and there was a pretty good bull in there that had a busted 6-tine. I'm just curious. There's got to be something in there we haven't seen. Yeah, stuff's gonna start happening here in the next 30 minutes, half hour. Yeah. What do you think?
Decent amount.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be able to see over there this evening because when that sun goes down, that'll light up. But this is also going to give us a perspective at some country that we haven't seen yet. So, been seeing bulls everywhere, so hopefully there's some more in here.
He looks great frame. I'm just kind of phone scoping.
Looking for bulls, looking for bulls.
It's a 6 point, but not a big one.
Haven't been able to see a lot of this because the sun's been in our face.
Right?
He had his main beam. He'd be like mid 340s, I think, maybe.
Well, down that way is Marcus and Joel. I stayed up here to glass some of this stuff not too far from where we were earlier in the day. Found one busted up 6 point, but that's it. He's one ridge this way where those guys shot that bull earlier today, and doesn't seem to be the least bit disturbed. Hopefully they saw something, because pretty dead here on my end. This is for Marcus, the hardest working camera guy in the entire outdoor industry.
That's doubtful.
Yeah, that's guaranteed. Oh, look at that, huh? Steam coming off?
That looks awesome. Look at that. Thanks, Randy.
I know, maybe mine's hotter because I punctured the bag.
Yeah, made it hotter.
Well, it was a kind of interesting day. I saw elk, saw bulls. Joel went on a stalk, thought about shooting one, and some other hunter happened to be just in the same area. I don't think they saw your bull, did they?
No. Bull winded them.
And then those guys saw some across the way, and we watched them go on a stalk. And they bumped one out of the trees that was bigger than any of the ones they were stalking after. And they poleaxed him.
Cold. It was like 5 degrees, my truck said this morning.
Is that what you had?
Yeah. Wow. So everything was out feeding. Saw some new bulls we hadn't seen before, and a couple nice ones. So we'll just keep looking. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. I'm actually glad that didn't work out this morning. That way we can keep hunting and keep watching wildlife, which is what makes this a good time. And so, looking forward to tomorrow.